American English, American English, webinar series. Teach and learn. American English, webinar series.
Welcome to American English webinar series for English teachers around the world, brought to you by the American English team at the U.S. Department of State in Washington, D.C. These sessions will focus on a variety of topics related to current issues and trends in English language teaching, and will demonstrate up-to-date methodology for teachers to offer more student-centered, interactive language instruction. My name is Amy, and I'm part of the American English team. This American English video is entitled Social Media as a Tool for Community Engagement. In this virtual workshop, Eve Smith will present a social media campaign project you can do with your English students. This project will help educate students about community service and language associated with social issues. Our presenter, Eve Smith, served as an English language fellow in Ukraine, the Republic of Georgia, China, and Russia. She also worked as an instructor at the English Language Center at the University of Macau. Currently, Eve is a consultant in English language programming and writing center development. Welcome, Eve.
Hi, I'm Eve, and I'm pleased to be able to make this video about social media as a tool for community engagement, connecting your classroom locally and globally. By the end of this video, teachers will be able to use a social media campaign to engage students with their community while teaching language, grammar, and vocabulary. Let's first look at community and why community is important. According to researcher and professor of sociology, Dr. Brené Brown, in her 2010 TED Talk, she said, "Connection is why we are here, and it is this connection that gives us a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. A major portion of connection is through language. This is one of the reasons that using a project in the classroom is ideal." So how can we bring more connection to the classroom? Today, I'm going to show you how to do a social media campaign on Facebook. So on the screen, you can see an example social media campaign on Facebook. This is a campaign poster photo. But what is social media? Social media is a collection of virtual tools that help people to share stories, photos, videos, etc. in an online environment. Here you can see my Facebook page. And today we're going to create our own, a project specifically on Facebook, but you can use any type of social media. This is just an example for you to see. This snapshot of my Facebook page. Some other types of social media that are popular right now with youth that you could potentially use are Instagram, Pinterest, and Snapchat, to name a few. The list goes on and on. Why should we use social media? Social media allows an integration of art and creative pursuits with English language learning. Basically, it creates an environment where education becomes engaging and exciting because the students are involved in meaningful tasks in the classroom and outside of the classroom. This feeds their spirit. Education should be relevant, and social media helps them, or helps it to become more relevant. It helps us also to have group work and projects in the classroom that celebrates the different minds that we all have in our classroom within the students. They all have different talents and intelligences. So Let's look at how we can create a social media campaign as a project that will have a meaningful impact in our community. But first, we have to look at what is a social media campaign. It is a way to raise awareness about an idea that convinces people to like it on social media. How do we prepare for the campaign? One of the things that we can do is we can preview existing social media campaigns with the students. So have some social media campaigns that are good, some that may not be so good. Have the students compare and contrast them and see what kind of tools and what kind of photos, descriptions are more successful so that they can start their own social media campaign, which is the second step, and already understand what are some of the tools and skills they should apply because they have previewed the previously existing social media campaigns. Another way that we can help prepare the students for this campaign is by identifying the language the students can use and pre-teaching it, teaching vocabulary in action, and helping the students to identify something that directly impacts them. Lastly, we want to encourage students to educate themselves and their community, to inspire and to help their communities. Let's take a look at a sample social media campaign project outline. The first thing that we could do with our students is brainstorm something they would like to change in their community. Next, we would choose one of those ideas and create a poster in English engaging the other community members to help. When the students finish, they then take a picture of their poster and upload it onto Facebook. Once it's on Facebook, they can share their campaign with friends, family, people in their community, and even local officials. Finally, students can continue to update their campaign with results using description and photos. Let's take a look at a picture I took of a community when I lived in Georgia. One of the reasons I wanted to share this with you is because I feel that this is a stunning picture because there's so much trash in it. When the first thing you notice when you see this photo is, oh my goodness, look at these poor cows in the middle of a field full of plastic and full of trash. So this is something that might be meaningful to the students in such a way it inspires them to start a campaign. And we can start this social media campaign with students by creating a poster. So let's look at some of the elements that the students will have to think about when they create that poster. They have to look at what? What is the problem? They have to look at who. Who does it affect? How? How can they solve the problem? Who are they trying to inform about the problem? They want to look at the campaigners, so themselves. Who are they? How are they supporting their community? And why, finally? Why is this cause important? Why should people care about what the students are trying to do? So when we're making our posters, our students should consider all of these points. Let's go back to that photo that I just showed you about the cows in the field. As we noticed earlier, these cows are surrounded by plastic. And we, as teachers, might encourage our students to begin thinking about all of the questions that were on the previous slide, the who, what, where, when, why, and how. In the next step of a project like this, what I did with my students is I wanted to encourage them to delve deeper into why this problem impacts the community. So they had to look a little bit further into, well, it's a problem because there's a lot of plastic. Plastic in large amounts is toxic, and it can cause some issues that they don't want in their community, basically. So we want to educate our community about the effects of littering. So let's put all of these pieces together. We have a great photo, we have identified our problem, and we want to create a poster. Let's look at what that poster might look like. This is what my poster looked like. So we can see it answers the questions, the who's, the what's, the why's, the where's, and the how. We have the audience, which is the local community that is very clearly expressed. But once it goes on Facebook, it has the potential to have a national impact, a regional impact, and even a worldwide impact. We are on this poster, the students very clearly say how people can make an impact. They can use a cloth bag instead of plastic when they are shopping. They can help come every Saturday to pick up all the plastic and to properly dispose of it, etc. So after creating a poster like this, as a teacher, we would take a picture of it, or as the students could take a picture of it and post the poster onto Facebook to bring exposure to the entire community and a wider audience. So while we love the poster project, as a teacher, I might be thinking to myself, this is great, but how do I assess it? Let's look at some of the vocabulary and words and phrases that are related to community service that we saw on that poster. Here on your screen, you can see a majority of the words and phrases that the students would be using. Since you know that they are using these words and other words that are similar, we would have reviewed them or introduced any of this vocabulary to the students before they created the poster. These might also be the words that you would use to assess their ability at the end of the poster by seeing whether or not they can use the words. Are they able to say, let's clean up the room, or let's pick up the trash, or whatever in their day-to-day conversations and speeches? Can they use that correctly? So the next step, we want students to be aware of their own measure of success. We want them to measure themselves and their impact on their community with their social media campaign. Listed on your screen are some of the ways that the students who created the poster that I just showed you could measure whether or not their campaign was successful. So they can look at the number of likes or shares on their campaign. They see if they have more and more likes, their campaign is reaching more and more people. They see if they don't have more and more likes, that they need to change something about their campaign to make it more powerful and more stimulating for others so that they want to join. This measurement should take place throughout the campaign so that the students are developing skills in reflection and analysis. This also gives them the opportunity to make changes to see if maybe posting in a different way will help their campaign get more likes and more shares. So I want to thank you very much for watching this video and spending the time that it took you with me. I would like to leave with some resources that I used when I was compiling all the information in this video. I hope that you feel free to pause and to take a look at all of these resources or whichever ones interest you so that you too can create a deeper understanding for yourself and potentially use a social media campaign. Thanks again for your time and for your attention. Enjoy.
Thanks, Eve, and thank you all so much for joining us today in this edition of the American English webinar series for English teachers around the world, brought to you by the American English team. Please check out our great resources on the links listed here. Follow us on Facebook or check out the latest monthly edition of Teacher's Corner on the American English website. To get all the latest updates and recordings from our team, subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to share us with your friends. See you next time.
American English. American English. American English. Webinar series. Teach and learn. American English. Webinar series.